So hello, I'm Wes, the Explosion, and we're doing one more video on the Udon Mega Man Timeline series. I have my brother Sam with me, and I have forced him to read all 5 issues, plus the free comic book day one, and he's gonna give his thoughts.
I was gonna say, I read 6, now 5. Okay.
Yep. So we'll start off with Classic, with the issue 0, and then move on to issue 1. Would you start off just saying, like, how familiar you are with Mega Man Classic and, you know?
I've played all of the Mega Man classics. Unless you count, like, Base and those weird ones.
You played all of the mainline Mega Man Classic games, but you've only beaten a few, right?
I've beaten 1, maybe 2, definitely 3. I think 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know about 7. I don't think 8. And then 9, no shot. And 10, no.
Don't worry, this list will get shorter as we go along. Anyway, so starting with the free comic book day issue, what did you think of that? And also keep in mind with this was a free comic book thing that came out before the rest, so it was a little more, you know, it was to sell the whole line. It kind of had a different mission statement than the rest of them.
So I got some notes. You can stop me at any point to be like,
okay,
clarify, talk more about that. Overall, I thought it was fun, kind of cheesy, doesn't really take itself too seriously. I liked how it gave Skullman, Windman, and I think Coldman?
Coldman, he's from Mega Man and Base, so...
I don't know him. But it gave him a decent bit of personality in a short amount of time. The one thing that threw me off was I thought the idea, like, Mega Man beats him up, and then Light reprograms them to be nice. But then the one dude, he just got a snow cone, and I don't know if afterwards he was like, yeah, I'll go be reprogrammed with you, or if that snow cone changed his whole life. But it was fun. Once again, it doesn't take itself too seriously, so that's not the biggest deal. I like the art style. I like the way the Robot Masters were drawn, but then Mega Man looked weird.
Well, the fun thing about this was, like, each section changed artists, right? For issue 0. Some of them worked on some of the other issues. Like, Windman's section, I'm pretty sure, was done by the same artist who did the issue 1, right? That one was the one that was a little more anime.
Yeah, I didn't like the way Mega Man himself looked most of the time, though. He didn't look like he fit in with the rest, but if different people were drawing different things, that kind of explains that. I have a ranking for it. I'll save the ranking. But overall, I liked it. It was a decent representation of the series.
Okay.
I don't know the Mega Man plot as much. I think I would... Well, there's not a whole lot that goes on in a lot of them, unless I guess you read behind the scenes.
I could explain it, but I don't want this video to be like 50 minutes long, so I'm like, so in this so in Mega Man 1, and then in Mega Man 2, so let's just move on to issue 1, and do you want to say your specific experience with Mega Man 11?
Oh, Mega Man 11, I started to play, I think at the 24-hour event we did. And I was like, I'm getting tired, I'm going to take a break, I'm going to do like some mindless RPG or something. So then I exit out, I go to the home menu, and then I go back later to replay, and I'm like, I'm in the opening sequence again.
Yeah, no autosave. So, you have a bit of beef with Mega Man 11, but if you can put that aside for me, what did you think of, you know, Timeline's issue 1?
I think this was maybe my second favorite art style of all of them.
I actually quite liked it too. It was unique. Like I said, it's a little more anime. Yeah. And Mega Man normally straddles the line between, like, cartoon and anime, where it's like, it's kind of a cartoon. It's kind of, so, you know, this was fun.
Lots of bright colors. Fun. I think I did not recognize Blast Man at first. I don't know if I did him or not. I recognized Torch Man, I think their names are.
Torch and Blast, yeah.
But I said, once again, I liked how they gave him some personality. It is, like, such a short amount of time, so that can be a little difficult to do. My problem, and I said this might be with comics in general, is that it felt a little bit rushed. Torchman kind of shows up, he's like, honor. I'm a bad guy, but I'm really good. I love you, and then he gets blown up and is like, don't worry, I'm still cool. That little man, he's innocent. Please don't murder a child, Mega Man. And then he just kind of dies. But also I'm fresh off One Piece, where like everything takes a million years, so it was a little bit of whiplash.
I can also explain this might give you more context. they had, they got to do one for each of the series in the main timeline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how sales went would determine whether this was it, whether it got a few more issues, like here and there, a few special issues, a limited run, or an ongoing series.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them has gotten an ongoing series thus far, but we did hear back from like the main editor, and he said that all of them make money, so I think all of them will at least get a little something more, but that's the context. They had one issue to sell you.
This one feels a lot more like it wants to keep going.
Oh, what, you mean
Last Man shows up and he's like, I'm going to kick your butt still.
Do I need to, preface this with spoilers?
Oh.
No, it's fine. I did my spoiler-free review, one of them, last week. But yeah, okay.
Then next I guess we go to X.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you had more to say on that or not. What is your
No.
experience with Mega Man X?
I've beaten one. I also beat one on the phone with the touch controls.
Very
so
cool.
I'm pretty good. We played the one on stream.
X4, yes.
Yeah.
I made you play 0 so that you would understand certain things when, Battle Network stuff. But anyway, I think you beat the whole game with 0 other than I needed to bail you out at Sigma. Does that sound correct?
Was it Sigma or Iris? Or maybe both?
Maybe both. Anyway, the point is you played, really only played 2 of the games, right?
I don't remember if I've done 2 or not. But yeah, not a lot. I don't know the overarching story. I know basic terms like Reploid Maverick.
Okay. So, the issue.
My first note with an exclamation point. Lots of references to the level. You got entire sequences pulled directly from the level. And I like references.
References, yeah, sure. That's what we'll call it.
They're fun. They can be fun. It depends. Generally, this one was not my favorite art style of the ones that were there, but Chill Penguin looked good.
Yeah, I'll give you some interesting notes. First off, they had originally meant to do the redesigns for the Maverick Hunter games.
I don't know what that is.
The PSP remake. They got
it's more
slight
like freebie.
redesigns. Yeah,
2.5,
right?
whatever.
But then they were forced to go back, so there were changes in that. And I'll also say that I think this is the one that got the ongoing. I think they've had 3 separate artists. There's one for this, there's one for issue 0, and then I think it's getting its regular its regular artist for issue 1. So, yeah. The guy who's doing it, for the ongoing is the same artist who did the 0 comic. So, if that plays a part. But yeah.
This one I had a note not really an original storyline compared to the last 2. I can't speak to the next ones, which we'll get to. So I don't know if it's unique in that or if the other ones are also like that, but...
Okay. I mean, I can rant about this. I don't think... they do a few unique things with this, right? 0 is a lot more present, which I think was an instruction from Capcom, because 0 is the moneymaker. Everybody loves 0. I'm not immune from that. And the other thing that I thought was, kinda neat was that they gave a reason for the capsule being there, right? Because when you play the actual game, it's just capsule, you like Boo Capsule? Capsule Boo, But with this, it's okay, it wasn't just here because of video games. There was an actual reason. But otherwise, yeah. You probably wouldn't know this, but if you ever, if you were to play the, the Legacy Collection and read Chill Penguin's, profile, all of his motivation was pretty much pulled from that. So, yeah.
My only other comment...
I will say this is a short bullet point there.
Thought. Yeah, this one I didn't have as much to say just because I feel like there wasn't as much going on. I've seen Chill Penguin stage.
Yeah.
I know how it goes. I said 0 is being a bit of an edgelord. I forget what he even said, but he was something like, "You're gonna be fighting till you die."
I thought it was just him enjoying himself too much, but that's another interpretation where he's like, "We're fighting! Wee!"
Oh, I thought it was the only thing certain in this world is war, taxes, and more war. I was like, okay.
This isn't even the edgy version of 0, funnily enough.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Oh, we'll get there next.
Do we want to move on to 0?
If you got nothing else to say, I'm good.
Yeah, overall, that one I was like, eh.
Okay,
it
so
exists.
It also burns me up a little bit that that's the one that got, it got an ongoing from pre-orders, right? So it did not matter. Anything could have been in that book. But I bitched about this way too much. Oh, we're swearing today, by the way. Anyway.
How many years?
0. This one, I am fascinated to hear what you have to say for 0.
This one's one of the longer lists I have. So I preface with I know next to nothing about this series, so I don't know if this is an original story, it's recreating games, what.
Do you want clarification on that?
Sure.
This takes place between 01 and 02. So it's an original story taking place within it. It's not a straight adaptation, but it's not taking as many liberties as Classic did.
Okay.
So this could canonically exist within the games, just between the games.
That explains my one point where I said it feels like I was dropped in the middle of a story without any context.
Thank you! That was my thing. I swear, like, you say all of your stuff and then I'll give you, like, my thoughts and you can be like, yeah or nah. Whoops, I bumped your table.
Do you know what the opening line of this comic was?
I think it was Zero shooting a man.
The opening line is 100 years after the Elf Wars.
Ooh.
I thought we were in super sci-fi space land. We're talking about elves, we got sages, we got...
Okay. Elves, there's these things called cyber elves, which pretty much just think of them as, like, little digital, like, little electronic fairies, right? They can boost you and everything. Do you want me to run you through the games one of these days? Because I think it'd be a big ass to ever, try to get you to actually play them. But anyway, go ahead. There's the Maverick Wars, then there's the Elf Wars. I'm sorry, go ahead now.
I said I don't know what half these people are talking about. This is my theory. The Reploids beat the Mavericks in X, and to ensure a safe future, the Sages, or Guardians maybe, were created to be like X to maintain order. But then they became an oppressive empire, and now there's a resistance force they're trying to kill.
You're very close. Do you want to go on, or can I explain it quick?
My next points aren't really related to that.
Okay.
So.
There was the Maverick Wars. They finished off the Maverick virus and everything, but then there were the Elf Wars. There's an energy crisis, and humans, because Reploids were kind of built for humans, sake, to make their lives more convenient, they made, like, a paradise just for them. But they had a bunch of other Reploids that didn't really matter much, so it's like, if you do not contribute to society and humans' happiness, you're out. You're just you're out. So the Resistance is the Reploids that, they're not part of Neo Arcadia, the, human settlement, but they still, they think they have a right to life. I say think, like, look at these uppity little... No, and Zero fights on their behalf, right? The leader of Neo Arcadia was a clone of X, and the 4 Guardians are 4 Reploids that were built, designed using X's DNA. Mm-hmm. So, kinda like just kids, as children or whatever. So, you were very close. So, that at least tells you that they got some of the points across.
I'm guessing one of the elements died, because there were only 3 of them there. There was wind, fire, and water.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I said I like the art style generally. Everyone looks a little young, and I also questioned why everyone had Speedo armor on.
That's just Inti Creates. Yeah, no, they are younger, and, they do look kind of younger, I will say that.
So Zero was once again big edgelord.
He gets revived, and he has amnesia because he's been, pretty much just in stasis for years, and they're like, you're Zero. You're the coolest guy who ever lived, and you're gonna help us, fight back against Neo Arcadia. And he's like, what if I'm not? And they're like, no, you're too cool, you're definitely Zero, and you're just gonna win the entire war for us. So I feel like Zero, he's kind of edgy, but he always struck me as more tired, if that makes sense in that. But yeah, no. The other thing is, I think you made, a similar point to what I did, where I said, I love the book, but I feel like, 1, it should have been more than a single issue, and 2, it did feel like you were in the middle of a run, right? Which, they tried to stuff way too much into it. I think they did a decent, this is about your opinion. But, like, they did do the thing in, like, the margins where it shows Zero, like, killing Copy X, and you're just like, oh, There's some implications there, but yeah, I do feel like it's a little hard to follow if you have not touched Zero.
But overall, I kind of like speculating and trying to figure out what was going on, even if that probably wasn't the intent.
Like I said, you were pretty close. And this is also the problem with one-shots. It's like, you got one issue. You don't have the world-building time for that.
You got like 10 minutes.
So, okay.
So then next, we'll hop to ZX. My first comment, they really love Zero. I thought that little red guy was Zero. I get very confused in this one.
Okay, I'll explain it then, but you're kind of backing up some of my previous points, so go ahead.
Then I talked about how opening with talking about your dead mom is kind of crazy, and please ease me into the dead parents next time.
Fire Emblem, they normally give you at least a few chapters before they kill your mom.
Then I questioned if Vent was also Zero like Hannah Montana, possibly?
Oh my god.
Because he looked like he was Zero, but then he was a different guy.
Hey,
So then the guy he kills... So the guys he kills turns into little gizmos that fly around and are his friends, but then he can become them. They also, in all these comics, they keep doing the what am I fighting for?
Okay, that's Zero's line, but yes. Okay. Oh man, that's so good.
I said, once again, no idea what's going on. There's a red Mega Man who is dead, but was the guy himself a Mega Man? Or was he Mega Man? Or was his suit a Mega Man? Is Vent a Mega Man? What is a Mega Man? Then they had a nice title drop. They said something like, I am the Mega Man ZX or something. And I said Zero, I feel like I was given just enough context to speculate and theorize about the world. This is giving me nothing to work with, and it's throwing way too much terminology and like past familial references around.
Okay.
I didn't know what was happening.
When you're done, I'll try to explain this.
I also did not love the art style, so that one I was not huge on.
Okay. Biometals are these things that are... Okay, you're pretty much in, like, the utopian society where Reploids and humans are finally equal. You can't really tell them apart, right? There's, like, one mark. Like, if they have, like, a red triangle on their forehead, they're a Reploid. Biometals are these things based off of past heroes. I don't know if it's actually used their remains, but they have a similar personality, and you can fuse with them to gain the the abilities of the heroes. The X Biometal can fuse with the Zero Biometal and the ones of the Four Guardians. So those weren't exactly Zero, and Vent is not Zero, he's just taking on the form of Zero. He's gaining his form and abilities. Does that make sense, the way I'm explaining it?
Yeah, but what's a Mega Man?
A Mega Man is someone who can Mega Merge.
Oh.
Only the Chosen Ones can Mega Merge. The Chosen Ones are those who have survived survived attacks by Mavericks.
I'm still not 100% clear.
Oh yeah, no. I thought that this book was like... The other bad thing is, you know how X was like a pretty close adaptation? A lot of the lines in this one are pulled directly from the games.
So this is like another direct,
yes.
Not really
so
original
despite,
story.
like, the conversation he has in the middle is new, but Purpurl's fight and the whole thing with Pandora and Prometheus, yes. I'll also say that the art style, wildly controversial. People saw, like, the cover on that, and they're like, the fuck is this? So it got pretty heavily panned. I think part of the reason, like, I think they might have touched up the stuff inside, but, like, you can't redo the whole comic, I guess. So, But yeah, no, I thought there was way too much stuff in there that, like, no one was gonna get. So this and Zero, I was very curious because I thought these were the least straightforward, these were the most esoteric.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you feel similar.
And then
Legends.
our last one, Legends. I said I like the art. The Treasure Hunters plotline is fun, not too serious, more comedic and light, especially after the past few, where everyone's doom and gloom all the time.
Okay.
Very easy to read, very easy to follow, but I still felt like it was an interesting setup, and I really liked all the characters and found them personable and funny.
My gosh, it's almost like some of the things you're saying, it's almost like I frickin' set you up, right? Because, yeah, that was my opinion, where it's like, I felt like they did really well dropping you into it. It was very easy to, yeah, no. Ay, ay, ay. Do you have any crazy comments beside that, though? It didn't look like you had too many.
I just have my rankings now, if you want to... Who do you think was in last place? Which one do you think?
I think I looked over your shoulder and saw a 5 for X, but it feels like it should have been ZX. Was ZX 5?
ZX, there are 6 of them.
Oh, actually, then that would make more sense. Yeah, when I did my ranking, I did the issue 0 separate because it was its own thing, but I guess that's still, like, it won't hurt. So go ahead. You know, I'm guessing ZX was 6, X was 5?
Mm-hmm.
0 was 4?
Mm-mm.
Really? Huh.
4 was the free one.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's not a bad comic, but it's definitely trying to do something different. Then 3 for 0?
I gave Classic 3.
Oh!
And now only Legends and 0 are left.
Those two were my favorites as well. I'm going to say you didn't have much to say about Legends, so I'm going to say 0 first, then Legends?
0 was number 2.
Okay.
Legend was number 1.
When I did my ranking, I'm like, 0's my favorite, I love him the most, bestest boy, he's my favorite, but Legends is the best issue.
I just had fun speculating with 0 and trying to figure out
Yeah, no,
what
I
was
didn't.
happening.
I did say for some of these where it was like, it seemed a little more like you needed foreknowledge. I'm like, I could see some people being like, you know, the mystique attracting them. And it sounds like 0 kind of did that for you, where the other ones are just like, I don't even...
Well, 0
Is this a Mega Man?
0 gave me enough to, like, speculate what was going on. ZX was just like,
cool.
I don't have anything to go off of. I don't know what's going on.
Cool.
And then Legends was just fun.
I think I also forgot to ask you as we were going along, which ones do you think worked as a comic book? Which ones do you think worked as a Mega Man adaptation? We can, you know, hype around this. Issue 0.
A decent comic book.
And decent adaptation?
Yeah. Shows off a bunch of different Robot Masters.
Issue 1?
Issue 1, I feel like, is decent if you're looking, like, specifically at 11. I feel like what Free might have done better for representing the series as a whole is, like, bringing in different Robot Masters. But also, I thought that was one of the better ones for comic book, especially at the ending where you have a clear setup for next issue.
X?
I was kind of bored with X. I feel like maybe if you haven't seen the games, maybe then it would be better for you, but are you...
Or if you haven't played in like 20 years, too.
Yeah.
And haven't read Chill Penguin's profile.
But then again, if there was a Fire Emblem comic, maybe I would also just be like, oh my goodness, references!
Diggs, I know! Diggs, I know!
Yeah, I don't know.
0, you don't know about the adaptation, so I guess we'll just say, did it work as a comic?
It was fine. I feel like it could have used a little more time, but that's just comics in general.
ZX, I'm going to say no.
No.
And then Legends, obviously, yes.
I feel like ZX maybe could have been, but like put me at the beginning of the story.
Yeah, that's the most impactful because the monkey he fought, Purpro, he had history. Like, his whole big motivation thing, he's like, my mom's dead and I'm sad. And it's like, damn. And then Prometheus and Pandora are kind of like the main villains. So, like, they had to show them off. So I kind of get why they did it, but I don't really think it worked well. And then, yeah, okay. So, big question. 2 big questions. I've actually thought of another one to ask you. Are there any of these comics that if I were to tell you, oh hey, it got more issues, would you be like, yes, I'll read them?
Maybe Legends or Legends or 0.
Ooh! High praise, like, okay, for other context, you love Sonic, but I've offered you several times.
Sonic.
I've offered you several times to read some of the comic books, and you're like, yeah. So I figured that I was like, if you're not gonna read Sonic, you're not gonna read Mega Man for me. But okay, I will keep that in mind. I might take you up on that. Again, I wouldn't mind running you through the 0 games, maybe on stream at some point. I can do those in a single one.
Sure.
But then, yeah. And like the other question, like the follow question, did any of these comics make you think, you know what, maybe I should try playing this Mega Man series? Did it sell you on any of the games?
I think I already knew, like, 0 and ZX are, like, really hard, aren't they?
Yes.
And I think one of them more like a Metroidvania kind of, or not?
ZX, yes.
Because I'm not a Metroidvania person, but maybe Legends.
Okay, the controls are a little wonky, but we can swing back around to this. The writing in Legends is really good. The whole, tank controls, which isn't always everybody's cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the first game was not designed with, like, a second joystick, which makes it difficult, like, harder.
Yeah.
But, like, if you like the writing in, like, the, in the comic, just imagine that, but also voice acted. And, like, kinda cheesy, but it still works really well voice acted. So, okay. Well, I think that'll do it. This was went a bit longer than I was thinking we would, but this was fun. Do you have any closing thoughts, or should I wrap things up?
I don't think so.
Okay, so there you go. Last week was my opinion on, where I would rank them, and then this week's was Sam's opinion, and like I said,
Correct opinion.
We're not far off from what I said. I would be interested if you were to watch my video and be like, oh yeah! But anyway, so, like, you're a little more casual with it, like, you have enough knowledge, but you're not, like, super into it. So, that's kind of what I wanted to see. What somebody who were just, like, picking it up on a whim, or, oh, I kind of like Mega Man would say. So, yeah, this gave me some good insight. So, yeah, with that, thank you again for doing this.
Yeah.
I would reference your channel, but you privated all the videos, but I'll still link you in the comment, well, in the description. But yeah, with that, I think we're done with this for now. A part of me wants to get someone like my mom to read it and be like, what do you think? You know nothing. But for right now, I think we're done with timelines, so yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching. Maybe consider subscribing if you like, retro games, especially Mega Man. And yeah.
If you check out the streams, you'll see more of me occasionally.
Yeah. Oh, and also, since this was a little more like podcasty, more casual conversation, just also feel free to let me know whether you like this format or not. But with that, thanks again, and something for everlasting peace. There we go.